Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mouse Club podcast. My name is Marissa, and I am the host of this podcast. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you all joining me. Why are my eyes tearing up? I haven't even started the episode yet. I'm just so excited to be recording. I feel like it's been forever since I've recorded, even though it's literally only been a week. So I'm really excited to record today. This is honestly the highlight of my week, is making these podcasts. It's so fun for me to talk about topics that I'm honestly so passionate about, and I know that the people listening enjoy it as well, which makes me really happy because, if you're a Disney fan, you know what I mean when I say that some people just are not interested in hearing Disney topics. So I'm really excited to be here this week talking to you guys, and I'm excited for this episode. This week I am going to be following last week's episode, which was retired Disney attractions that we all miss. So be sure to go back and check that out if you have not seen it yet. And this week we are going to be talking about Disney attractions that need a major update. And sorry, my dog is moving on the bed if you can hear that. So yes, this is going to be specifically referring to Walt Disney World in Florida. That is just my home park. That was also my dog who just sighed. That is my home park, is Walt Disney World in Florida. But if you would like to see a Disneyland episode, just let me know. I'd be happy to do that. I've only been to Disneyland one time, but now that I have the podcast, I told my husband that it's a very good excuse to do some more Disney trips around the world. So I'd love to go to some more. I definitely want to go to all the international ones. I went to Disneyland Paris when I was like 6, so there's like very vague memories in my subconscious from Disneyland Paris. So I would definitely love to go back, but I've heard mixed reviews. So anyway, I'm getting way off topic now. But yes, we're going to be talking about Disney attractions that need a major update to Walt Disney World in Florida. And if you have any that you would like to share, be sure to go check out my latest Instagram post and you can leave your comments there. And if you haven't already followed me, go ahead and follow me at the Mouse Club Podcast on Instagram. That is where I share polls, ask you guys questions. I want to do some story episodes in the future, so I'm going to have you all email me your stories. So be sure to go follow us. We are 15 followers away from 100, so it would be super awesome if we could get to 100. I would be really excited about that, so go check us out. And anyway, without further ado, let's jump into some Disney news. Okay, so the first piece of Disney news this week is that the Disney College program has been suspended indefinitely for both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. I feel like we saw this coming, honestly. The Disney College program, honestly, as well as the cultural ambassadors, it's honestly a great purpose of having the college program kids is to help with high capacity in the parks. So when there's not high capacity, when the parks are closed, I mean, it's hard to pay for all of that. So we're not going to have Disney College program kids for who knows how long. I feel like my best guess is probably going to be they'll probably bring them back next fall. If we're lucky, I guess is the right term. They might bring them back for next spring. But I doubt it, honestly. So we shall see. It depends when a cure or vaccine is found for coronavirus and, how the numbers are going in Florida and California. But yeah, I have had some friends who have gotten the email that their college program has been suspended for the fall, which is really sad for sure. But you can definitely see why they had to do that. Also, there was a crazy commotion this week as Disney accidentally charged people for 4 months of their annual pass, and it was all at once. So people were getting charges of $300 to $400, which is definitely not good, but Disney has been refunding people, so that is really good. I'm sure it was just probably a computer error, because I'm sure it's probably some system that just does the automatic payments. So good thing that they got that resolved, but I'm sure that that was very scary for some people who may not have had that much in their account or had just a very small amount over that. So if that was you, I am so sorry, because that really sucks that they just processed all those payments in one day. That is crazy. So yeah, good thing those are getting refunded, because I don't think anybody wants to pay for 4 months of a pass that they didn't get to use. Also, if you haven't heard the big news, Hamilton is officially streaming on Disney Plus. It has been so popular. I have now seen it twice. The first time I watched it by myself, and then the second time I watched it with my husband, my sister-in-law, and her boyfriend, and we had a lot of fun. We had pizza, and we made like homemade desserts, and she made Jell-O shots and punch. It was just a really fun time. So we really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, of course, go check it out. It is really, really good. I don't know if it's particularly kid friendly. There's a lot of adult themes. There's language, there's adultery, there's death, there's just a lot of adult topics. So do be cautious if you have children. But I did want to mention that if you go to the Disney Facebook page, you can download an online program for the show, which I think is super cool, because you can really like pretend that you're actually at the show. If you had the programs at the door, had some concessions, then you put on the film, that would be so fun. So anyway, you could check that out, like I said, on the Disney Facebook page. And the last piece of Disney news is that there is going to be a new Phineas and Ferb movie called Candace Against the Universe, which will be streaming on Disney Plus on August 28th. So that is exciting, because I know a lot of Phineas and Ferb fans. So I did not think that there would be another movie, but it looks like Phineas and Ferb are still pretty popular. So that's going to be really exciting. And that is all the Disney news we have. So I'm going to take a quick break to tell you about our sponsor, and then we'll jump into the episode. Alrighty, everyone. So jumping into today's episode about attractions that need updates. Again, this is specifically for Walt Disney World, so I apologize. I don't have that much experience with the other parks, but I definitely love to do some research if you all are interested in that and hear what you all have to say for future episodes as well. But I'm really excited. Again, like I said, if you missed last week's episode, we talked about retired Disney attractions that we all miss, and it was really, really fun. So be sure to check it out. And I'm really excited about this episode. I definitely think I'm going to offend some people and step on some toes. So if I do, I really do apologize. I'm not meaning to offend anybody, and I will give my reasoning for each of the things on my list. But I hope that you all enjoy. And anyway, with that, the first one. Can you guys hear my dog right now? She is so noisy. Anyway, with that, the first one on my list is the Carousel of Progress. Okay, let's talk about the Carousel of Progress, because this is a family favorite of mine. I love the Carousel of Progress. I know so many people do not like the Carousel of Progress. I personally love it. It is one of those attractions that I would be so sad if it disappeared one day. But I do recognize the fact that it needs an update. I think the animatronics could be a lot better. I cringe every time. I can't remember which sequence it is, like which year it is, but the one where Sarah gets her romp room and she's doing the wallpaper, and when the paint splatters, it is so cringy because she reacts to it like 10 seconds later. So yeah, that needs definitely a major update with the animatronics, with I think the sequencing and like the timing of everything, and also the final scene, because the final scene is supposed to be like futuristic. It's supposed to be things that we are looking forward to. It's supposed to get us excited about the future and excited about progress. And basically everything that is in the final scene are things that we now have. For example, the oven turning itself on, we now have a lot of smart gadgets. For example, the brighter lights, again, a lot of smart gadgets. You could just say, Alexa, turn on the light, or Alexa, dim the light, and she will do it for us. The virtual reality game, of course. so many things. A car phone, we have those, basically. We have cell phones. We just have so many things that they talk about. So, yeah, I definitely think that the Carousel of Progress needs a major update. I don't think they need to change any of the characters, maybe make it a little more inclusive, maybe have a little diversity going on, but I think that they could keep it pretty much the same. I just think that the animatronics could be updated and perhaps the final scene as well. So that is why I have the Carousel of Progress on my list. The next one, another one, I think I'm going to offend everyone, is the Rock and Roller Coaster. I mentioned it briefly in last week's episode, but I really, really, really hope that they change Rock and Roller Coaster. No offense to anybody, but Aerosmith honestly is just not relevant. I am 24 and I barely know who Aerosmith is. So I think it could definitely use a new update. I don't think it necessarily has to be rock and roll. I know the one in Disneyland Paris, I believe, is getting an update to be an Avengers theme. And I think, okay, I've had this idea since I was like a long time ago, but I think it would be so cool, not to bring up the Princess and the Frog again, but I think it would be so cool if they changed that ride to the Friends on the Other Side from the Princess and the Frog, and they had like all of the shapes, like the donut and everything, if those were all like the voodoo heads and they like could move and like sing to you. I think that would be so cool. Or even if they just did a band that's more relevant now. But the thing is with bands is it's like, I feel like over time things become not as relevant anymore. Like Aerosmith is not as popular nowadays. Are they even together still? I don't think that they're together still. I only knew of Steven Tyler from, I think he was on America's Got Talent, if I'm not mistaken, or American Idol, one of those shows. So anyway, definitely think the Rock and Roller Coaster could use an update. That doesn't mean I love the ride any less. It is one of my absolute favorites. I just think it would be really cool if they could update the theming a little bit. They could even keep it exactly the same and just change the band or, change the figures or something like that. I think that would be really cool. Okay, the next thing is not really like a ride specifically, but it is the Africa Pavilion in Epcot. So let's talk about that because the Africa Pavilion at Epcot is literally like an ice cream stand and a little, what's it called? Like, what are those little push carts that sell things? Like a souvenir stand, I guess. And I think that we could do a lot better with the Africa Pavilion, since every other pavilion has like restaurants and shops and, desserts. Sometimes they have characters, some of them have rides. So I think it'd be really cool if they did a little update to the Africa Pavilion in Epcot. For sure, it would be super cool. I know that there's not like a ton of space there, but it would be cool if they could extend it a little bit, maybe further back or maybe over that bridge. They could keep the theming going. Maybe add a restaurant. I know that they do get like a lot of theming for Africa and Animal Kingdom, so I'm not like blaming them in any way. It's just like that one area is so bland compared to the rest of the World Showcase. So I just think if they amped it up a little bit, that would be really awesome. Even if they just put like one restaurant, or even if they added one ride, or even if they had one meet and greet, I think that would be just bring up the level a lot. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that one could use an update as well. Next on my list is one that a lot of people are hoping for, which is Expedition Everest, and not specifically that it needs an update, but just the fact that they really need to fix the Yeti. I didn't even know that the Yeti used to be operational until I started working at Disney back in like, when was that? 2014. And people told me that it had been operational like a couple years before or something. I don't know the exact dates of when it was shut down. But I've never ridden it personally when the Yeti was operational. Maybe I did because I was there on opening day. So I guess it would have been operational then, but I was so little when that happened. I don't even know what year it came out, but I was very tiny. So I had my eyes closed most of the time, so I don't remember the Yeti. But basically, the Yeti is supposed to like swipe its arm down as you are passing it. And from what I have learned from my friends who have worked in attractions, who have worked with the Everest ride, the amount of energy it took to make that happen was equivalent to a jet plane taking off. I don't know if that is true, don't quote me on that, but that is what I've heard, that it used an exuberant amount of energy to get the Yeti arm to swipe, and it was just not practical. So yeah, they decided to stop that from happening, but it would be really, really awesome if they could get the Yeti to work again. That would be super, super cool. And then also, I just think it's funny because my friends who have worked there said that every time that the ride like is shut down or has like a malfunction, I don't want to say breaks down, because people get such a bad idea in their head when they see that rides are temporarily closed. They're like, oh, so it's broken. It's like, no, it's not broken. The ride track didn't split in half. It's just that there's some technical issues that need to be resolved real fast. That doesn't mean that the ride is broken in half. But anyway, yeah, so whenever they have like a malfunction, my friends have told me that the way to reset it is you have to go all the way to the top of the mountain, and I guess that's where the control panel is or something like that. So you have to go up this incredible amount of stairs. And also they said that there's a basketball court somewhere in there, which I think is super, super cool. But anyway, getting a little off track, I definitely just wanted to say I hope that the Yeti gets fixed. That would be super, super awesome. Next on my list is Rafikis Planet Watch in Animal Kingdom. And I know that they just did a refurbishment, but I honestly think that they should just change the theme altogether. I think it would be so cool if they switched it to Zootopia, and if this was like the Zootopia, the train that Judy takes from, like, where does she live? I can't remember where she lives. It's called like Bunny something, but I don't remember. But when she takes it from her hometown to Zootopia, I think it would be so cool to have the train do that, even if they like change the windows to be virtual windows and you could see like all the different plains, like the tundra, why can't I think of the word for the snowy atmosphere? I can't think of the words, but you know, all the different environments and ecosystems that she travels through. That would be so cool to see, and to have like a Zootopia theme, because I feel like Zootopia does not get enough credit in the parks. You know what I mean? Like Judy and Nick, I think that they're still in the Move It, Shake It parade, whatever the name is now. They've changed it like 4 times in the past couple of years. But it would be super cool to get a little more Disney exposure for Zootopia. So I think that would be so cool. Or if they even just did like a different theme. I just feel like it's not... I like the conservation idea behind it, but like whenever I go, I honestly just skip that area, and I feel like they could do so much more, and they could still preach like conservation and still talk about conservation with a different theme. So that is why I think Rafiki's Planet Watch could use an update. Next on my list is the Grand Fiesta Tour, which is the boat ride in Mexico at Epcot. I love this ride. I was sad putting it down, but truthfully, I feel like it could use an update. I think that it is a beautiful ride. I love how it showcases Mexican culture, but I do think that it could use an update. It's been the same for a while, and I think they changed it like slightly, like they added, I think they changed the ending, like where the fireworks is. There used to be animatronics, I think, and now it is a TV, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it'd be really cool if they changed it and did like Coco theme. I think that would be so cool for Mexico. And or if they didn't do that, like if they kept the theme and maybe just I don't know. I feel like it just needs an update. Do you know what I mean? Like if they kept the 3 Caballeros, that would be cool. But I feel like not a lot of people know who the 3 Caballeros are nowadays. Like I haven't even really seen the movie. I feel like I need to watch it. I feel like I'm not a real Disney fan until I see the 3 Caballeros movie. But I just think it'd be really cool if they did Coco, because that you could have that like magic land with that like makes your eyes light up because it's so bright. I think that would be so cool, and to see all the characters that so many kids love nowadays because it is a more recent movie. And also Pixar, which I feel like Pixar could use a little more love at Epcot for sure. And last but not least, the one I'm going to offend the most amount of people with is the Country Bear Jamboree. Now, hear me out, guys. I know a lot of you are freaking out right now. Here's the thing. I love the Country Bear Jamboree. It's a lot of fun, but you know those animatronics need to be updated. Every time we go in, it reminds me of a Goofy movie, that place they stop with the possums and the animatronics that are like breaking down. That is literally what I think of when I think of the Country Bear Jamboree, because every time we go, one either gets stuck, one's eyes can't open, one's mouth can't move. There's always just a lot of issues, I'm not gonna lie. So I definitely think they could update the animatronics, maybe change up a couple of the songs. But I love the Country Bear Jamboree. I definitely don't think they should take it out, but I think it'd be super cool if they gave it an update and added a little flair. That's all I'm saying. I think that would be super awesome. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I hope that you enjoyed. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Mouse Club Podcast, and please be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening so you can listen to future episodes and be part of the whole journey. That would be super fun. So please be sure to subscribe and come back next week for our next episode. I post a new episode every Wednesday, and I hope that you guys enjoy them. And anyway, I hope you're all having a wonderful week. I hope you're staying safe out there. If you are going to Disney, please be safe. Please be safe at the theme parks, because cases in Florida are skyrocketing right now. So just be very careful, very safe. And anyway, guys, I hope that you're having a wonderful week, and I will hear from you next week with a new episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Mouse Club Podcast. To find us on Instagram, follow us at the Mouse Club Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Mouse Club Podcast, or on our website, themouseclubpodcast.com, to find all of our episodes, links to our social channels, and our YouTube channel, which will be coming soon. To follow our host, Marissa Potts, that's me. Check me out on YouTube, Marissa Potts, on TikTok at marissa.potts, on Instagram at Little Miss Mariss, MRS Mariss. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week. Bye.